Hey guys, BoostedWheelie here, back with another video for you. And today it is time. This old, rubbish, crappy M44 full 4-cylinder garbage is getting yanked out of here today so we can make space for our M50 sitting back in the corner over here. So I have finally ordered everything that I need online, all the gaskets and everything to refresh this M50 and make it really nice and reliable and get everything that I needed to get the swap done. So now is finally the time. I tried making it to my race, but I missed another autocross race last weekend due to the fact that the EWS2 on this car is now kind of screwing me, which you guys will see in probably see in the update video that I put. And of course my neighbor has to start mowing their lawn right now. Anyways, that's okay. So yeah, we are going to start ripping this thing out of here, and once this is out, we are going to power wash everything down, clean everything. Trying to decide, I might paint the engine bay. I haven't decided yet or not. We'll figure that out as we go, but that's a possibility. I know I'm going to power wash and clean everything up really good while we've got the engine out. And then once that is all out, we are going to start tearing down the M50 and refreshing everything. And I've also got some sweet eBay equal length heathers. These were $200 off eBay, but they're actually really good quality, surprisingly. Like the TIG welds on all of them, really good. I don't know how well you can see that there, but so for $200 I was actually pretty surprised. I didn't want to dump a whole lot of money into the headers because this is going to be turboed, so these will eventually come back out of the car and a turbo manifold is going to be going in. So just got some cheap eBay ones, but these are actually pretty sweet for some cheap eBay ones, and shiny parts is always fun. So that's going to be thrown in there. I do have to get a clutch still. That's the only thing I haven't got yet. But I'm probably looking into getting a 6-puck clutch or 4-puck. I want to get a puck style clutch since this is going to be a drift car. I would like that clutch pedal to be more of an on-off switch and not have so much of that engaging point. So we will be doing that. I don't really want this. I mean, I'll probably occasionally take this out on the road, but this isn't really going to be a street car. So I have another car that I want to buy after this one and make more of a street circuit time attack car. But that's in the future. Anyways, this is going to be, like I said, that dedicated drift car, so having that clutch just being an on-off pedal for when we're doing clutch kicks and everything is going to be super nice to have and not have to worry about blowing up or shredding that clutch or the flywheel. So going to be doing that as well. That's like really the last thing I have to order. And then once we get this swap done and get this car running and moving under its own power again, then it's time to go ahead and strip out this whole entire interior, start building the roll cage. I've got racing seats to put in it now. I've got some energy seats. I just got to get some brackets as well for that. Your steering wheel, hydro, fire extinguisher, every single thing that we're going to need on the interior to set this car up for drift and so that we can be nice and safe inside, most importantly. So once we get all of that done, we will then have lots more power and torque. We'll have everything caged and we'll be set up a lot better. Then I will come to the suspension, going through all the suspension, coilovers, adjustable sway bars, going to reinforce all of the chassis points on here that are known common problems for failure and cracking. So we're going to reinforce all of that, and then at that point we'll do the body, get some either some over fenders or fender flares on here. I've got my M3 bumper sitting back there to go on. I got a new rear bumper to go on. And then we are going to be wrapping this car. And then all that's left is just drive and drift it and try not to break stuff. But anyways, let's dive in. We are going to start by getting this whole front clip off and out of the way, which will make it a lot easier to pull this motor out. First thing that we're going to do, check at the car, obviously, get it on jack stands. And then, now that we got the car all jacked up and on jack stands, super quick. I know I'm probably the fastest jacker upper ever. Faster jacker offer, jacker upper. Huh, one of the two. Anyways, the car's up on the jack stands, and we are going to start by removing these headlights out. removing these headlights out, pull both of these out. Then we are going to start taking this bumper out, and to remove this whole kidney spot, there are a couple of spot welds that we're going to drill out. I'm trying to remember, I just had to do this on the other car, so I think right there, and then right there's another one. But we're going to drill out these spot welds, that way we can take this whole front clip off and out of the way, then remove this radiator, pull all that out, drain the oil. Then it's just a matter of disconnecting things like throttle cable, fuel, wiring, spark wires, basically just everything attached to the car. Remove the two motor mounts and drive shafts and trans and all that, and then just pull the whole thing out and forward. Once we remove this here, this whole front clip, this just gives us tons of room, especially since I don't have a leveler for my engine hoist over there. I am going to have, it's just going to be easier just going and pulling it out the front here. So let's dive in and start getting this off. So guys, when you're doing an engine swap, word of advice, your tools are not your best friend. Your best friend is a bag and a marker. Always bag and label every bolt that you take out. That will make this process so much easier, so much organized. An organized build is a clean build, is one where you're not losing pieces and parts or bolts and turning around every other second trying to figure out or find something. It just makes things so much easier. I'm telling you, just take the time. It will save you so much time in the long run. Always bag and label your bolts and nuts, everything that you take off the car.
Have you ever met someone you could not get my dad? Have you ever been in love?
First, we're going to start with removing the headlights. When removing your headlights, it's usually just a couple of bolts up top and a couple of electrical connectors to remove for your headlight bulbs and your turn signals. Depending on your car, you may have a couple of bolts on the side to remove as well. These headlights just clip into the side on this car. Aftermarket headlights are usually a really cheap and easy mod to do and can make a huge difference in the appearance of your car. With those out of the way, we can begin to remove our bumper and our kidney grill bar. Just a couple of bolts underneath and to the sides where the fender meets, and it'll pop right out. I'm going to be switching this bumper out with an M3 style bumper to help make this tiny compact look a little bit more aggressive.
The twinkles in the night. You are the moon that shines so bright. You are the wind that whistles my name. You are the love when the world's the same. Have you ever met someone you feel like he's the one? Have you ever loved so much it almost hurt? I wish I could explain your eyes and how the sound of your voice gives me butterflies. How your smile makes my heart skip a beat. How every time I'm with you.
Alright guys, so I'm sorry I lied to you. You actually do not need to drill anything out on this kidney bar here. That all bolts out. What you do need to drill out is right here. So you've got spot welds right here and a spot weld right here. Once you drill out these two spot welds, and they're on both sides here, so you got to get it right here as well. So clean it up. So right here and right here. So drill all these spot welds out. There's 4 of them total, and then you can remove this whole radiator support up and out of the way, and then that's the last piece that opens all of this here up, and it'll be nice and accessible. Now we just gotta disconnect, remove this. I've gone back and forth, but I think we're deleting AC on this. I'm honestly not sure if it worked when I bought it. I don't think that it did. I cut the belt off on the AC compressor just for a little extra power, and so this motor wasn't having to drive it, but I don't if I remember correctly, the AC didn't work on this anyways, so we're just going to remove all of this and get it out of the way. That way we get some more race reduction.
Feel so complete, so complete.
To start removing the radiator core support, there's a couple of bolts up top that need removed, then all that's holding us in are the 2 spot welds on each side. When drilling metal, you always want to make sure you have a good set of metal drill bits, a center punch, and some sort of lubricant. You want to start with hammering your center punch in the middle of whatever you're drilling, that way your drill bit won't wander off on you. Then when you start drilling, you want to continuously keep spraying your lubricant. I'm using just a chain lube here. Keep spraying your lubricant on the spot that you're drilling to help keep that heat down and prevent the drill bit from warping and losing its sharpness and cutting ability. When drilling larger holes, it helps to start with the small bit and work your way up. Alright guys, now with a little bit of chisel persuasion, we are out. Yes. Alright, so taking you guys close here, you can now see we've got all of this out of the way here. We just got to drain this radiator and remove this out of the way, and then we will have full access to the front of this engine here, and it will make everything really nice. Especially anyone that knows working on these cars, access is like everything. There's a lot of tight spots working on these slant 4s and these slant 6s. So we are going to, now that we've got everything out of the way here, well, first I got to go take my engine hoist back to Harbor Freight and get it returned, because after I put this motor on the stand, it decided to crap all of its oil out of its pants. It soiled itself, so yeah, no bueno. I definitely don't trust this one now. So I'm taking this back and I'm getting a 2-ton one. Hopefully be a little bit better. I only have to pay $30, just pay the difference of them. But anyways, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to drain this all out. We're going to drain my oil, and then we'll remove the remove the differential. No. One more time. We're going to remove the drive shaft. Take that out of the way. We're going to lower and remove the bottom transmission cross member and brace. Then we've got to disconnect exhaust, disconnect throttle cable, disconnect fuel, disconnect wires. Couple little odds and ends, but otherwise that should be about everything. Then loosen both motor mounts, and then we can go ahead and chain up and pull this thing out of here. Alright, so now we are going to go to Harbor Freight real quick, get a new engine hoist, and then we will be back. Before removing any AC component, it's important to make sure that you take your car somewhere that has an AC machine and that can properly evacuate your system and not just let it release out into the atmosphere. It's not good for the atmosphere, and we gotta take care of the planet that takes care of us. This system was already empty, which is why my AC didn't work in the first place, so I could just remove everything else without issue. All the AC components are going to be deleted anyways for weight reduction and less load on the engine, so AC working didn't really matter when I bought it. Alright guys, so got the radiator out and out of the way, and I got the oil drained down there as well. So as you can see, once you get that all the way, you've got beautiful access right to the front of this. And as you can see, this is a leaky son of a bitch. This timing cover is just pissing oil out of it. Anyways, so we've got that out of the way, and I wanted to show you guys something. This is why any reputable mechanic or anyone with 2 cents of common sense will tell you not to use those AutoZone, O'Reilly's stop radiator stop leak or head gasket fix. They don't work. You may get by a couple miles, couple 100 miles with it, but this is what ends up happening when you run that crap through here. It ends up clogging all of your cooling system. So this is like you've got half of the flow coming out of here that should be pulled up through there, pulled up through there. So you can only imagine what the inside of this radiator looks like. I mean, it's just going to be all gummed up inside of here, not giving this any chance to cool properly, to flow properly, and it just creates a nasty mess in your cooling system. Luckily, I've got different hoses, radiators, and everything, but that's why we say to stay away from those products, because they are trash, they're garbage, and that is what happens because of it. So anyways, now that we've got the cooling system all drained and out of the way and everything nice and open up here, next thing we're going to start doing is disconnecting some of the smaller stuff. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to go to the bottom side first. We're going to disconnect the drive shaft, disconnect the transmission cross member, disconnect the exhaust where the downpipe meets up to the headers, and that should be everything that we have to do bottom side for now. And then come back up top, remove throttle cable, fuel, wiring, a couple other small things, and then this thing's ready to come on out. Alright guys, now we have drive shaft, exhaust, shifter disconnected, and that brace disconnected. So the only thing left to disconnect from this bottom side is just the transmission mount, which I'm going to wait until I get this motor chained up here. So now, coming back up top side. Now, with everything else out of the way and all fluids drained, we can begin removing everything else out in the engine bay. Things like intake, battery, throttle cable, fuel and coolant lines, and any wiring. On this car, the ECU and all the engine wiring kind of stays together, so you just need to remove things from the chassis, the fuse box, and the ECU, and it all comes out together, which makes things nice and easy. Alright guys, so we're getting pretty close here. I have this whole wiring harness is disconnected from anything over on this side. Got the DME pulled out, and as you can see, absolutely disgusting. So I do feel that that could possibly be part of my problem. And there's that DME compartment, absolutely disgusting in there, and you can see signs of moisture. So I think I'm going to try to reroute my ECU to under the dash somewhere. That way I hopefully never have to deal with this again, and we can just kind of bypass that disgusting compartment altogether. So now we're at the point where I've got everything disconnected this side, all wiring disconnected from this side, throttle cable is off and disconnected, all the AC lines are off and disconnected. So everything's disconnected from this side. I've got the ground off of the engine mount arm, so all that's left to do on this side is just unbolt that engine mount here. And then over here, I still need to, I'm trying to decide, I'm most likely probably just going to pull the pump off of this motor for now, because I don't want to deal with draining and messing with this. As you see, it's kind of a leaky, nasty, disgusting mess, this whole power steering. So we'll see what happens. I might have to just loosen them and drain it and get it out of the way for now, or I'm thinking I'll just keep the system closed and then remove it. I'm going to have to deal with it at some point anyway, so it's a different power steering pump for this motor and the M50, but also trying to decide if I'm going to keep this steering rack in here or if I'm going to go with that one, because that one looks a bit cleaner than this one does. So still trying to decide all of that, but I'll probably just take the pump off for now. That way I don't have to drain it or deal with it and make a mess. And then I need to disconnect, trying to decide the best place to disconnect fuel. It's going to be either down, it's down here somewhere, either down all the way at that side connection or over here. The thing that sucks is they put all the hose clamps so that the flat head of it is facing up instead of down, which would make it a lot easier to get to from the bottom, but no, they wanted to make it difficult, so that's how they did that. But otherwise, those are the only two things holding me in at this point. Is just power steering, fuel, and then disconnect the two motor mounts, disconnect the transmission mount, and she's ready to come out. So let's get back to it and get the rest of this done. Alright guys, so camera died on me, but I ended up getting power steering disconnected. I just removed it off of the engine so I didn't have to crack it open. I got fuel disconnected, I've got the clutch slave disconnected, I've got everything disconnected. All that's left is just the two engine mounts and then the transmission mount in the back. And then we can get this thing up and out of here. So I got my new engine hoist in, so I've got to put that together. And then once that's put together, I can hook it up to there and undo those mounts and then pull it out. So watch this and check out the world's fastest engine hoist assembly. Guarantee I'll have it done in under 2 seconds. Like that. And voila, engine hoist is all put together, and this is an upgraded one. This is actually a 2-ton hoist. I had a 1-ton, so paid $30 difference and just got the upgraded one instead. Anyways, now that we've got this all together, all we have to do is chain up and hook up to the motor here, drop out the both side motor mounts and then the transmission mount, and then just hoist it up and out. So here we go, let's get this out. When pulling a motor, chains are usually your best bet. Otherwise, you can get away with using a heavy rated tow strap, just like I'm doing here. You just want to make sure you bolt to a secure part of the engine. Some motors come with hooks already installed to make pulling very easy. Luckily this one did, so all I had to do was attach the strap and bolt onto these hooks. Look at your car's manual for your car specific instructions with pulling. They usually have a procedure or guidelines to follow. Alright guys, it is time. Motor mounts are both out on each side, transmission mount is out. All that is supporting it now is the jack and, well, this isn't really supporting it yet, it's still sitting on the cross frame, but you get the point. So, time to start pulling this girl out and see what we forgot to disconnect. Hopefully nothing. Once you start hoisting out, it's always a good idea to give a couple pumps at a time and keep going back to check and make sure there isn't anything you missed or forgot to disconnect. On here there were a couple wires and one other small thing that needed disconnected in order for it to come fully out. If I would have just kept cranking without looking, it would have just ripped it out. Voila, guys! We are officially out. No more disgusting, nasty, crappy M44 4-cylinder garbage. Get that crap out of here. Now we got all sorts of room for activities and a way cooler, funner motor back there. So now that we got all this out, I'm going to get everything a good clean here. I'm going to get rid of ABS. We don't need that. Save some weight with that. We'll get rid of some other things, kind of tuck some wires, clean everything up real nice in here, and get ready to start rebuilding that. A bunch of parts come in next week for that, so I can start tearing that down and refreshing that motor, and then put the two together like a beautifully orchestrated German sandwich. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed so far. Please hit that thumbs up, like, subscribe, share this to your friends. This is just the start of lots of fun things coming with this car, but this is a big, major step that we need done. So thanks a lot again, guys, for watching. Hope you have a great day. Peace.